Well, the debate is I thought I was. I am. All right. We're trying to do something here. That's Tom Trout, a big executive with Salem Media. Don't mess with him. Mike Gallagher's on the air right now with Salem News Channel and on Salem Radio. Katie Pavlich is on the air with Hugh Hewitt, the moderator from Salem Radio. And that's our town hall setup right there for recorded videos that you'll see across the sites for the rest of the day. And now, there's Vivek Ramaswamy, who's making a phone call. He could be talking to Donald Trump for all we know right now. And you can see Vivek has just entered the room, is absolutely swarmed by the media. Let's see if we can get some of what he's saying.
I think it's wrong when Hunter Biden collects a $5 million bribe and Joe Biden then sends $200 billion of our money to Ukraine. I've called that out for the Democrats and I will stand by it. But you can call it out to the Republican Party too. When you have people who benefit from war, benefit from their relationships of the companies whose backs they've scratched, like Boeing while governor, then to join the board. This is the kind of behavior that we need to ban. The corruption that needs to end in our system. A military contract might challenge her to.
Let's back up and let people see the scene here. Vivek Ramaswamy, obviously, we can get you the video and audio of him, but look at the rest of the media is doing that. You guys should see what the media is doing here. Vivek obviously came to fight today, and he continues the fight in the spin room right now.
You think about that statement, I can understand why. Aligned with what I do with media. Speaking the truth, not just when things go to talk.
Vivek Ramaswamy absolutely swarmed by the media. And it's actually kind of unorthodox. Usually surrogates will come into the spin room and spin on behalf of the candidates. It's very rare that right out of the gate after the debate, you've got a candidate coming right in here, and you can see how the media is reacting to that. We will see some candidates coming a little bit later. As you can see here, what happens is a person for the campaign will hold up a sign showing who the surrogate is here to spin for. So that's obviously somebody here for Tim Scott, and he's going to swing over there and get something. Here's someone for DeSantis. Do we want to talk to somebody for Ron DeSantis? Sure, why not? So we go over to the DeSantis person. Hello, DeSantis sign holder. So we're streaming live on the town hall social media sites. Who do you have for Governor DeSantis tonight to speak? Oh, great. How are you? Larry O'Connor, how are you? We're with Town Hall Media, and we're just doing a live stream from the spin room. So tell us what you think about the governor's performance tonight.
Amazing third performance, a third win in a row. We're thrilled on the heat, and we've had a great week with Governor Reynolds in Iowa endorsing us, and now we get to come back down to Florida in our home state and dominate another debate. Wonderful night.
Were you surprised at the dust up there between Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley? I mean, they've been doing it every debate. I mean, they can't get it out of their system, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably right. I think, look, our mission tonight was to drive our message, talk a little bit about the governor's record here in Florida, but more importantly, paint his vision for the future. And while we watch some of the other candidates spend a lot of time and energy focused elsewhere and sometimes on each other, we really wanted to drive a message forward. In some instances, paint important contrast, but really drive his message, and that's what we're so excited about.
Does it make a difference to the governor, the fact that he served in the military, specifically in the Middle East, to kill terrorists, knowing that now this is his chance to display that in the wake of the October 7th terrorist attacks?
Absolutely. Look, you're not required to have served in the military to be commander in chief, But to be commander-in-chief and having served in the military, having served in a place like Iraq, having served with U.S. Navy SEALs and been in a combat situation in a combat theater gives you an important perspective. So it paints the picture to you of how important it is and what it means to actually send men and women into combat, into harm's way. But just as importantly, the dynamics of combat, what comes into it in terms of making sure the troops have a mission, a defined mission, making sure it's not a morass, and making sure they have every tool necessary to drive the mission successfully. That kind of experience is critical, and that's why Governor DeSantis is the only veteran in the race, has a real huge advantage and a leg up to be our next commander-in-chief.
One of the first questions tonight was kind of the critical question for Republican voters. Why is it your turn now instead of Donald Trump's turn? What did you think of the governor's answer to that? Because that really is the question, isn't it?
It is the question. And at a time when right now, as we stand here today, there are Americans being held hostage by Hamas over in Gaza. The economy is in shambles and people at home are hurting. And frankly, even as Republicans, when we are on the heels of another devastating loss last night in elections, the former president was 10 miles down the road reading off a teleprompter, wasn't here on stage to defend his past record, and more importantly, talk about his vision on how he would try to lead the country going forward. I think what Governor DeSantis did tonight took advantage of that absence, frankly, and showed Americans and showed Republicans all across the country why he's the leader that needs to be our nominee and lead the country forward.
Thank you, sir. And, I didn't get your name for the...
It's David Polyansky.
And you're with the campaign?
I am, yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. It's David Polyansky with the DeSantis campaign. So that was good spin. This is what they do. They spin. We're going to come back over here to the door because it looks like we're still going after Vivek, it looks like. Let's see. We're sliding through. We're agile. We can move.
To provide our nation is a nation in search of an identity. And I'm running to lead a nation, and I'm using the Republican Party as a vehicle to do it, to advance a pro-American agenda. And I do think that we live in a moment where we can't just be politics as usual. If we go politics as usual, this country, I think, in 20 years, I don't think we're going to have a country left if we stay that course. With establishment politicians.
Now you're seeing the media split here because we just had another entrance from Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor DeSantis is coming over to talk to the NBC News folks first. And there he is with his wife, Casey DeSantis. Can we get over here? All right, so that's Governor DeSantis entering the stage where the NBC News setup is. We'll get Governor DeSantis. I think he's going to come over and talk to the Salem setup as well towards the end of the evening. But you can see now take a look at the media. So we still got a few media over here with Vivek, but now the majority of them have now crowded over to try to get a look at Governor DeSantis when he talks to NBC News. It's just mayhem. It's what, American politics is a blast, isn't it? It really is fun. And you just heard DeSantis's representative say, "Oh, third win in a row. Absolutely, Ron won the debate." Now, I guarantee you, there will be other representatives for other candidates, shockingly, who will think that their candidate won the debate. I know. It's wacky, isn't it?
Nice try.
It was close. All right, so now Ramaswamy has been grabbed by his comms people and publicists, and now they're going to start working down these media setups. It looks like now we've got Fox is set up right here, Newsmax is set up right over there. Not sure what that setup is, but we'll find out for you. Let's get to, you know what? Let's get to Tim Scott surrogate over here. It's a congressman, but I forget his name. It's not Johnson. I think it's a congressman from South Carolina, but I forget his name now. Do you know that's the congressman here for Tim Scott? Oh, Senator. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, we're with Town Hall. Thanks. Thank you. Sorry, the senator's name? I apologize. I know it's Gardner, of course. Thank you. I know. And I do DC as well. I should know these things. I know. So we're going to get Senator Cory Gardner in just a sec, who is here for Senator Tim Scott. We're also going to use the audio on WMAL tomorrow morning to see it. Huh? Oh, there you go. We're really incognito right now. Hello, David Weigel. How are you? Tell Town Hall you said hi.
Hello, Town.
Look, it's Dave Weigel.
Hey.
Behaving yourself?
Yeah, I mean, this I like the
It's tight.
space.
It's very tight.
I like breathing this air with all these people.
Do you?
I mean, it. I need to be witty, don't I?
No, you don't.
Like I'm looking.
Just be Dave.
I'm just looking for the exchange I just saw was a lot of fun. Where somebody asked Ramaswamy's wife was asked about his attacks on women, and she said no one has done more to support women. And someone had to confirm, who are you? And she said, I'm his wife.
Wait, how did he attack? He attacked a fellow candidate who happens to be a woman. That's not attacking women.
Oh, I mean, I'm not spinning for him.
I know you're not.
But I'm waiting for the rest of these folks.
We're just talking here.
Oh yeah, there's Cory Gardner. Probably gonna
Yes. Well, I'm next. Back off. I got Gardner next. Exactly. It's a very popular guy.
All right, let's all bug him.
All right.
One by one.
You're not here for the post today, are you?
No.
Just
I would either way.
we go way back.
Yeah.
Breitbart days. I believe the interview that's going on right now is more of a debate than an interview. The reporter seems to be arguing with Senator Gardner. I'm not sure why. Hey, Senator Larry O'Connor, how are you? Good to see you as well. And we're also streaming live right now on the Town Hall site. Great to you're here for your colleague, Senator Scott.
You got it.
So what do you think of his performance tonight?
I thought it was excellent tonight. I thought you saw a leader in Tim Scott who defined and led the debate, whether it was on the economy, whether it was on energy, whether it was on life. Tim Scott crafted and led the other candidates on the stage tonight. They were responding to him. That's why he won this debate. That's why the audience showed the respect that they did to Tim Scott. That's why, quite frankly, the candidates on stage showed the respect. How he united and brought people together. That's why he will make an incredible president.
Senator Scott, it seems like he's trying to find that faith and family values lane, especially for the Iowa caucus, now that Vice President Pence is out of the debate. Do you think his answer on the abortion question really solidified that vote in Iowa?
Look, he is the lane on faith and opportunity in this country. Somebody who can quote scripture, but also live it out in real life. You know, the fact is, he is a candidate who will make America feel good about itself again. And tonight he showed he is the most conservative candidate on that stage. And he's the most conservative candidate who will win, not just the primary, but the presidential race.
Do you think Republican voters right now want somebody more combative, though? I mean, everyone seems to respond to sort of the fighting. And let's face it, we've had many years of President Trump who sort of exemplifies that. Is Tim Scott too nice to win the Republican nomination?
You know, if you watch the scrum that broke out in the middle of the debate stage tonight, you saw it break out in the second debate. You saw it break out in the first debate. Leadership matters, and that's why Tim Scott exhibits it every single time he's on that stage. I think the American people know Tim Scott is a fighter. Look, he has fought his entire life. He said tonight, the proof of his life disproves their lies.
Yeah.
That is somebody who grew up knowing that because he is a conservative, people were going to try to treat him differently, because they automatically expect that he should adhere to left policies of the Democratic Party. He's fought against that tide his entire life. So there is nobody who is a greater fighter on that stage than Tim Scott.
You know, Republican voters are going to be like, hey, Biden's not a nice guy. Biden calls us names. We need someone who's going to push back and fight against Biden.
And I can't wait for Tim Scott and Joe Biden to be on a stage together, because guess what? Tim Scott has lived everything that Joe Biden has told stories about.
What did you think of Ramaswamy's opening foray against the RNC, against Ronna McDaniel, and the choice of moderators tonight?
Well, they may rescind the invitation. I'm not sure. Look, I mean, you saw what happened when Tim Scott disagreed with Lester Holt. because fundamentally Lester Holt doesn't understand economics. The fact is, that's not just a Ramaswamy position. You saw Tim Scott have to go after the moderators because they don't understand that future supply matters to present cost.
All right, Senator, thank you, man.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Spin away.
You got it.
That's Senator Cory Gardner, as I just said. And we're going to continue. Oh, now there's Senator Scott himself right in the middle of the fray. Let's take a quick look at the senator. The senator is a very soft-spoken individual, and it's hard to grab his voice from the scrum here. Senator Scott is heading for a hit on Fox News, it appears. So we're going to let him do that. But that's the scene here. I got to tell you, so having been in a lot of spin rooms since going back to 2012 when I was working for Breitbart, it's very rare to see the candidates already out here and mixing it up in the middle of the spin room. It's a very different dynamic that we're not used to. Do we want to talk to Hugh Hewitt, our partner at Salem, who was the moderator on the stage? Let's see if I can grab him. Hugh, do you have a minute? He's meeting a wounded warrior right now. Hugh, I'm sure you noticed from the questioning tonight, is such a devoted supporter of our U.S. military from a very serious and important position with regard to our national security. He has a keen awareness of who our enemies are. And so it's not uncommon for someone from the military, especially a wounded combat veteran, to take a moment and connect with him. We'll hover here while we wait. Oh, we also have a Nikki Haley surrogate screaming in here, so we'll do that in a moment too. And it's starting to get even more crowded in here, as you can see. The room is filling up quite a bit, and it's half media. Well, actually, it's way more than half media. And then the balance of it will be candidates or representatives of the campaigns. Oh, and Chairman Ronna McDaniel Romney is speaking with Mike Gallagher right now. So maybe we'll grab her when she's done with Salem Radio, because I think it's worth finding out her reaction to Ramaswamy's opening attacks. That's our Salem News Channel and Salem Radio setup over there that you're seeing. So we'll see what she had to say about Vivek Ramaswamy's full frontal attack on her as chairwoman of the RNC, just like right out of the gate. I'm sure you all saw that on social media. It got quite a bit of attention. Hogan Gidley's here. Are you allowed to be on a live stream real fast? I know you're under contract today.
Sure. What do you need?
You know Hogan Gidley. This is Town Hall, by the way.
Oh, great.
Hogan Gidley, former spokesperson for the White House and doing yeoman's work for NBC tonight, right?
I am, absolutely.
What did you think of the debate?
I don't think it changes anything, but I thought that the questions were substantive. The answers were substantive. Whenever the moderators aren't the story, that's kind of a good thing. Although, there were some fireworks here and there.
I think Vivek made a pretty good point. I mean, you guys are trying to hold us accountable. You still haven't been held accountable for Russian collusion. I mean, you had to deal with that in the White House.
It's always a good moment when you can call out the media for the stuff they do to us, and he took that opportunity to do it. Remember when Newt Gingrich went after Juan Williams in South Carolina back in 20?
Vividly.
He ought to send Juan Williams a fruit basket and some flowers as a thank you, because it made him shoot up in the polls because of it. So it's low-hanging fruit to go after the media, because there's a reason their popularity is somewhere between Congress and COVID, because they're always they're always doing the wrong thing.
There goes Governor DeSantis. He just did his NBC. Are you needed on set?
I don't think so.
Do you think Governor DeSantis did it? Look at Mary Catherine Ham, Town Hall veteran.
What?
Town Hall veteran Mary Catherine Ham is here. So you're on Town Hall social media right now. Good to see you. Do you think Governor DeSantis did enough to separate himself from the pack and get closer to Trump's numbers?
From the pack tonight, no.
Wow.
From get closer to Trump's numbers, no. Look, everyone's up there saying we're going to do everything he already did. So it's a tough place to be in. I mean, it's hard to break out when you're trying to say, I promise I'll put in place the policies that the first guy did. When you know the first guy did it, he'll do it again. There's some nuances and some differences here and there, but I don't know if it's enough to break out. Look, nothing really matters, I think, anymore until people start voting. That's what's going to matter. And I work for someone in Rick Santorum and Mike Huckabee were at 1%, didn't catch fire till Christmas in Iowa. And so we know that can happen, but Trump is a former president, which is a big difference than any other time. And he's up 40 points, for heaven's sake. So it's a tough task for anybody.
See, you mentioned Rick Santorum, Mike Huckabee, and I see Tim Scott up there is sort of in that lane, right? Really nice guy, good on family values. But I'm almost thinking he's too nice for today's GOP. For a post-Trump era, can a nice guy even win the nomination?
A nice guy can, of course.
And I'm not saying President Trump isn't nice, but you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying. Look, Tim Scott is my senator. I'm from South Carolina. I love Tim. Just gave him a hug a second ago. Did a good job tonight, too. Had some great lines about country and very uplifting. I mean, look, his story going from cotton to Congress. I mean, come on. That is the American dream to face the adversity and confront the problems of the past and then succeed in spite of those. His story is amazing. But I don't know that he is where the base is right now. I mean, I think people are looking for a little more anger, a little more, urgency out there. And I don't know that he has that. Doesn't mean he's not a great guy. Doesn't mean he's not a great senator. It's just, I don't know that that's going to be, it's kind of a Mike Pence lane, if you will. And I work with Mike Pence. So I was with him in the White House, but I think right now the voters are looking for somebody a little more fiery because they see what the incoming is with the left. They see the weaponization of the three-letter agencies going after people if you like the wrong tweet or come on the wrong live stream.
No, I saw the comment you made on the NBC pre-debate show about that right in the last few minutes. It was brilliant. We were all cheering you on for that one because that is existential to freedom of speech.
No question. And it's unbelievable to me that so many other members of the media aren't angry and doing reports on censorship when their whole livelihood is built upon freedom of speech.
Well, the problem is many of them benefited from who was being silenced.
That's a whole other thing.
Last question. It took about an hour and a half to get to a question about abortion, about life. It's a fundamental issue for Republican voters, and it was framed within yesterday's election results. Were you satisfied by the answers that you heard on stage? Because this is an issue that Republicans need to be able to talk about and win with.
Yeah, they should, and they can. Look, I think people need to understand the way to talk about it. And there's a way to discuss our side, the standing up for life. But there's also a political reality that exists. That not everyone is 100% pro-life. They have some different options out there. But then also the part that I want to see was we need to go on the offense here because the left, every single U.S. senator but one voted for a bill that would allow for abortion anywhere, anytime. For any reason up until the moment of birth, and they want you to pay for it. And 90% of the country rejects that. We have to make them answer for their position. I'll defend my position on life. They need to defend their position on death. And when you understand that most Americans are somewhere in that 15, 16 week, they understand 4 months that we need to start thinking about it. That's where I think we need to find that sweet spot.
Why aren't you working for one of those candidates? Seriously, why couldn't any one of them say what you just said?
Well, I don't work for him. That's why. You know what I mean?
See, we got to get this guy a job.
Tape.
There you go.
No.
We'll send it along.
I'm doing fine now, but I'm doing some stuff over at American First Policy Institute. We're about to start releasing these kind of talking points and trying to get people on the same page. Because, you have to talk about adoption, of course. You have to talk about it's not just the child. It's the mother, too, right? You have two lives at stake here, and you have to figure out how to talk and communicate with the rest of the country so that people understand your position is one that is sane, that is rational, and reduces abortions. That's what it's about, right? Protecting women and reducing the number of abortions. The left will never agree to that because that's not what they want.
Always a great conversation. Hogan Gidley. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, let's keep rolling here. Ronna? All right. Oh.
Oh, well, thank you.
Congressman Will Hurd, former candidate. Hey, how's it going, sir? Huh? Good. We're live on Town Hall. If you'd like to say hello to everybody. The grand poobah of all of Salem media. We all work for this guy.
Good room bad.
I do. Yeah. Do you need? What? You gonna?
Don't need.
Were you gonna kick me out?
Really?
No. Oh, these are the golden tickets.
This is like the Willy Wonka.
It is. It absolutely.
This is the one.
Were you happy with the debate?
Very happy with the debate. I look at it from a lot of standpoints. Happy that our guy got a lot of screen time tonight. That makes me happy.
He asked the most grown-up, serious questions too that matter the most to Republican voters.
He did. He really did. And I thought, most of his questions got answered. Yeah. Eventually they got answered, even if it was 5 minutes later by a different candidate.
Yeah.
Eventually they got answered. But pleased with the outcome. I thought Ramaswamy came out.
It sounds like raises for everybody. That's what I'm hearing from you right now.
You know what? Snickers bars.
All right, we'll take that. Oh, you know what beats Town Hall. Thanks, Wes. Are you making a lunch date? Is that what I think he's making a lunch date? All right. We'll find Hugh Hewitt later. Here's Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel.
Attacking other Republicans and win elections. And I'm always going to be focused on fentanyl, our borders, what's happening with crime, American families that are suffering. And I'm going focus on being done. I am very proud of the RNC and our staff and the work that we've done to bring back the House. Remember, I am the person who chair of Michigan who looked at the
All right. Ronna McDaniel is pretty much answering the question the same way. Everyone wants to know her response to Vivek Ramaswamy, and her response is, I'm not focused on that. People want to use me as a target, but I'm focused on Joe Biden. She's not going to get into the mix. And honestly, that's probably the best for her, because she's not going to win that fight. Not going to win it anyway. Do you want to say hi to Town Hall real fast? Oh.
He lost Virginia last night.
Stop blaming me for that.
He was the ambassador.
Hugh Hewitt, the superstar tonight.
For losing Virginia. And
Yeah. Aren't you? See, if you were on the radio in Virginia, it would have made a difference.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
The governor should have been on more often.
You did a great job tonight. You really did. And I'm not just saying that because I'm paid to. But
You are paid to.
that is true. But you asked serious questions, important questions, and meaningful questions, not just to our country, but you're right. You're right. I believe your questions mattered most to Republican voters, and I appreciate that, especially from national security perspective. But do you feel like you really got answers to your questions?
I don't think anyone really wants to talk about specifics about ships and the Navy, except Chris Christie, because I've been asking him these questions for 10 years.
Yeah.
And so his debate book.
Well, they all should have been prepared.
Question,
And Alger Hiss.
but they did answer TikTok.
Yes.
And I think pretty clearly in a way that an American parent will go in and delete the app. So if we did a public service tonight, not only narrowing the field, get someone to get that freaking app off of their phone because it's sucking. Do you have it on yours?
Oh, God.
I saw you dancing on one.
Stop it. No, I just dance for the hell of it. You know that. I don't need an app for that.
You are on TikTok.
And none of my kids have had TikTok either. Absolutely. That was a rule in our house. That's brought on a real dust up there between Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley. You were right in the middle of it.
Never bring up someone's child.
Now, there are some people who are commenting on that on social media saying, well, they're adult children, so it's okay.
No, you don't. They're not in the game. If anyone brings up my kid, I would turn the table over, and it's just not their business. And you can't answer it appropriately. There might be a discussion there. You have no idea what the setting is. It's sort of like the Kellyanne Conway, George Conway story, and they kept bringing in Kellyanne's daughter. It's none of anybody's business except the family, and it's tough enough business without bringing it. And so I did not like that. I also didn't like that Vivek came out of the box attacking Kristen Welker. She's just doing her job. I mean, the liberal media is the liberal media, but she hadn't said anything.
I know, but the question was about Russian collusion. It was a visceral thing for us to see, we in the conservative media who push back on Russian collusion, because we do feel like the media has never been held accountable. And now you've got those same media figures trying to hold candidates accountable. You understand that.
If you had, I can name 5 people who lived on Russian collusion for 10 years. None of them are named Kristen Welker. So that's a question in search of a target, not a target who deserves to get a question.
So if he had said Lester Holt, it would have been okay.
No, I don't think Lester did it either.
Oh, Lester.
I'll tell you who did it. And they weren't on the stage tonight, and
All right.
that would be okay, but I still wouldn't open it up that way.
So it's very rare you get to talk to one of the judges of a boxing match who were right there at ringside. What's your scorecard look like right now?
I think the next debate will be Governor DeSantis and Ambassador Haley.
Thank you, Hugh Hewitt. Well said as always. What a hero, right? He was great
I
tonight.
lost Virginia.
Oh, stop it. Jeez. Where are we now? Swinging back over here? Back to Rana? All right. Let's see if we can get more audio here. And she's done. That's fine. I honestly don't know if she's going to give us anything good. Oh, sure. Is she free? Let's see if we can grab Katie real fast. Are you working? We just want to say hi.
Oh, we're working.
Look, it's Katie Pavlich. You're across all the town
I don't
hall.
think that's good.
That's not working in any way whatsoever. What do you think of the debate? You watched it.
It was good. I thought the questions were actually very substantive.
It was actually,
It was a substantive debate.
I think that was also because there were fewer people on stage, so they could
Yeah.
be more substantive.
That's true. But I thought the moderators kept it about the candidates and their answers, and there were no gotcha questions that I could find, really. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Do you think the answers on national security were satisfying, considering what's going on in the world right now?
I mean, I don't think that any answer in 90 seconds on a topic about the world and the way that things are going, especially in the aftermath of course, what happened on October 7th, are ever satisfactory, which is why it's important to look at the candidates' backgrounds and to see what kind of experience they may have with these issues. But there were a number of people on stage who gave good answers on that. And we'll see if the field whittles down. There's another debate in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, next month, December. We just talked to RNC Chairwoman McDaniel. She said there's an announcement coming tomorrow about the debate. So I guess we'll find out where that will be and when and who's hosting and who's moderating.
Did she give you anything on Vivek's opening?
She did. She said, I'm not running for president, and that Republicans should be attacking Joe Biden, not each other. So that was her answer.
All right, then. And where do you stand on 3-inch heels versus 5-inch heels?
I stand on the side of cowboy boots. So I guess those are like 2-inch heels or something.
Fact check true. 100%. Thanks. Have fun. Katie Pavlich. All right. Who else we got here? All right. There goes Nikki Haley. She just did an NBC hit. And she's swing. So this is NBC has their own little entrance here. You can see protected behind the wall. All right. Let's make our way through the spin room a little more. Sorry. That's okay. Hello. Hello. Just trying to see who NBC is getting next, or if Ambassador Haley will be making her way in here. This way? Oh, it's Tim Scott is going to see NBC now. All right. There's Senator Scott getting mic'd up there for NBC. Let's see who's here for Vivek. There's a Ramaswamy person over here. Let's do that. His friends call him Vivek. I'm not really his friend. Oops, sorry. Is there someone here for Mr. Ramaswamy, or is it Mr. Ramaswamy? He's doing his own spin. Oh, all right. Oh, all right. Trisha, it's Larry. How are you? Good to see you. Good, good, good. Is there anyone spinning for Mr. Ramaswamy, or is he spinning for himself? Oh, all right. We're live on Town Hall right now, by the way. So sorry, I should have told you that. Say hi. There you go. Well, we'll hang here. I know, same here. We email each other a lot. I can hang here and just grab whoever you've got. Okay. Oh, well then we can. Well then let's jump in. All right. Communications director for the Ramaswamy campaign, and he came out with a lot of energy at the beginning.
He said he was going to be unconstrained, and he sure was. I think he really brought the energy, he brought the zingers, but he also brought the substance, which is what people want to hear. I mean, he talked a lot about the fentanyl, the families that he's met through these fentanyl poisonings that are young people are experiencing 100,000 deaths a year.
It was a fabulous point when he said, this is poison. This isn't, because people, they say overdose and they think it's like some recreational, someone who's using coke and they go too far.
Right, exactly. And I think it also, it's a reminder, kids can make stupid decisions. That doesn't mean that's a death sentence. And the fact that that's what's happening is, it's despicable. And that's at the feet of our leadership. It really is.
So I personally loved him going after the moderators and saying, you know, you haven't been held accountable for Russian collusion, and now you're here judging us. There have been some pushback saying, well, Kristen Welker wasn't really a big proponent of Russian collusion. Maybe she was the wrong target for there. Is that missing the point, though? Is it really more about the media at large?
I mean, Kristen and Lester were there on behalf of NBC, right? That NBC really did give that a major platform. And that also includes Meet the Press. These are, where's the accountability? Where are the firings? Where are the apologies? If she was on the other foot and we had total disinformation about Hillary Clinton or the DNC or Joe Biden, you can imagine that there'd be some Fox News, there'd be Newsmax, there'd be, you know, Larry, I know you hold yourself accountable. Heads would be rolling. So where's the accountability now?
Obviously, there's no love lost between Vivek and Ambassador Haley. Every debate now, it seems to escalate and seems to escalate. Some Republicans don't like it when Republicans fight against each other, and it divides us. Is this something that can be worked out in some way, or is there some, because it seems like it's getting personal now?
You know, I actually think, Larry, that this kind of represents the divide right now in the Republican Party. There is the very much establishment lane of the party, probably more neoconservative, especially foreign policy, and I think that very much is Nikki Haley. And then you have Vivek, who is very much an America First conservative. Whenever we're entering into anything in foreign lands, the first question is, how does this advance American interests? So do I think it's personal? No, I actually don't, despite what, you know, things that might have been said on stage tonight. I think it's becoming even more fierce as Vivek views this, as we're marching ourselves into World War III. And I think that he sees Nikki Haley, her rhetoric and her policies as marching us toward a third world war.
Would he like to take back the comment about Ambassador Haley's daughter? That seemed to be something that people really sort of took exception to. You leave kids out of it.
Well, her daughter's not a child. She's 25 years old. She's on TikTok, which is by no means a sin. Vivek is on TikTok. But doesn't Nikki Haley bring up Hunter Biden? So either families are out of it or they're not.
Right. There's your answer. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate talking to you. Spinning, they all spin. That's what they do. And it's up to you to decide whether that's a good point. Talk about Hunter Biden. Is he off limits? Of course, no one's accusing Nikki Haley of breaking federal law, but all right. Let's see who else we've got. We haven't heard anybody from the Haley campaign, have we? So maybe we can find somebody. Well, I'm trying to chase down the Haley person. Oh, it's Spencer Brown from Town Hall.
Hi, hello, Lawrence. How are you doing?
I'm Larry O'Connor from Town Hall. It's way past my bedtime. You're right. We're trying to find who's here for the Haley campaign. They don't really
have not seen anyone yet.
Right.
There was a sign.
I know, but there's no one.
There's nobody on the.
It's just a sign. We should interview this sign.
That'd be a newsworthy.
You're a snarky person.
Generally.
There was a lot of snark on stage tonight.
There was, but that's normal now.
Who do you think won the snark off? Who had the best snark?
If like mom and dad are fighting, but there's also 3 other parents involved, that's what it's like, and it's just painful.
It was more like mom and little brother fighting, though.
Look, there are a lot of children with force in America, and it's time to stop laughing about it.
I suppose that's true.
Did you talk to Mr. Ramaswamy?
We talked to his press secretary. We did not get to talk to Mr. Ramaswamy. But he looks like he's heading this way. Have you talked to Mr. Ramaswamy? Here we go. He's heading to the Salem camp. You got to see a little insight into the candidate bickering a little bit with the press secretary. I want to do an interview that's not rushed. Welcome to the spin room, man. So Vivek's sitting with Mike Gallagher right now. And then, did you see that Katie Pavlich got an air kiss? I didn't get an air kiss. Not even from Katie. I was hoping for the air kiss from Vivek. I'm not going to lie. Congressman Will Hurd, former candidate. I mean, it's sort of spinning down now. I was hoping that Ambassador Haley would come in. And as you heard from Spencer, it doesn't look like we've got anybody here from the Haley camp, which is kind of weird. Are you here with Never Back Down? I'm Larry O'Connor. How are you? How are you, Aaron? I'm with Town Hall and WMAL, both at the same time. You want to do? We're actually live streaming right now.
Yeah.
Give us your name again. I'm sorry.
Aaron Preeny.
Aaron Preeny. I'm trying to remember what you didn't hold elected office.
No, I didn't. I was on the trustee.
That's what it was. Okay, thank you. I know that we've spoken before.
We have, yeah.
So you've jumped from Trump to Never Back Down. You know, everyone's going to say you're disloyal.
It's not about, here's the thing, loyalty is not a one-way street here. And when it comes to the future of the country and the future of the Republican Party, that leader is Ron DeSantis. He has the record that shows he puts service before self. And if we want to be able to win, and not just now, but well into the future, it means the party needs to turn the page to somebody who's delivered in a way that nobody else has. That's Governor DeSantis.
Did he give a good enough answer to that? The most important question, which is, why you instead of Trump? I mean, that really is the question voters need to hear from, right?
I think he absolutely has, and I think he's shown it, right? He talked tonight about action and not just rhetoric, right? And that's the difference between him and not only Donald Trump, but every other candidate in this primary. Not only does he have the record of fighting for the people, making sure he takes on the tough fights, making sure that he stands up so that the people of Florida and the people of the country have a better future. He wins those fights. And then he leads to continue to make sure that tomorrow is a better day. He has the record of that. Nobody else does. So this is a candidate that when it comes to him versus anybody else on this stage or anywhere else, he's not afraid to let people sling by at him and say what they want to say, because he is proud of his conviction. And he's the only person who's actually served this nation the way he has.
I know he's been relentless on the ground in Iowa. I understand he's been, so yeah, I was going to say 88 out of 89, right?
99.
Oh, no, thank you. So there's still a little bit more to go.
Still going.
But with all that effort, why hasn't it shown up in the polls yet? Or is it just too hard to pull for a caucus state?
It's too early. Right now, voters aren't necessarily looking at who they want as their choice because we're too far out still. But right now, as we get into the holiday season, this is where the tide starts to turn. This is that Kim Reynolds endorsement, Governor Kim Reynolds stepping in right now, not only to endorse, but she's going to be hitting the trail. She's going to be knocking doors. She's going to be doing events. She's going to be signing up people to commit to caucus. We got 30,000 people committed already for the governor, and one of them is Governor Kim Reynolds. This is the time where that momentum matters, and this is the time it delivers. 99 counties is a lot. I've done a lot of them with the governor myself when he's come as a guest of Never Back Down, and he's talking to these farmers. He's talking to these young students who are looking at what tomorrow is going to be. And when they talk to him and they listen to him, I can't tell you how many events I've been to where these are people who are actually actively engaged, and they say, I didn't know who I wanted, but now I know I want Governor DeSantis.
Governor DeSantis almost seemed on the brink of emotionally moved and when the Israel question came up, the post-terror debates, but also what's going on in this country, on the college campuses in the state of Florida. It really seems to matter to him. That's what at least I was picking up. What is that?
It does matter to him. It matters deeply to him. There are very deep Israeli-American ties here in Florida, and he's been living that as governor. He's been seeing that. But also, when there was a complete dereliction of duty by the federal government, by Joe Biden, to make sure Americans were safe in Israel as this attack was happening, Governor DeSantis, again, didn't back down from the fight, stood up, stepped in, and sent planes with supplies that could then go and pick up people and bring them back. He talked tonight about a mother who brought her 6-year-old child off the plane. And the child was saying, I don't want to hear bombs anymore. I want to get back to Florida. This matters to him personally because he's living this reality. Everybody else can talk about what they would do. He's the one who's actually doing.
Do you think President Trump's going to come to the next debate, or one of the? You think he had mentioned that maybe when it starts to get down to lesser numbers, he might start to? You don't think so?
No, I think he's too scared to. I actually think that Donald Trump is scared to have to defend his record, to have to stand on a stage and not only talk about the fact that, yes, while in the moment he served, what he has done since then has been to the detriment of the Republican Party and to the Republic. If he's not willing to stand up and defend his record and defend what he wants to do in the future, how does he think he should deserve another 4 years? He would be a lame duck immediately. Why? He would never want to actually admit that he wouldn't be able to be a powerful force as president, because that would hurt his ego. And so instead, let's talk about somebody who can serve 8 years, who can serve this country, who has a tomorrow that's based on the work they've done today. That's Ron DeSantis.
Do you think if President Trump is convicted, then he should not get the nomination? Should he have the votes to get the nomination at the convention? Should there be a fight over that if he's convicted?
I think Governor DeSantis has been really clear on this on two fronts. One, he will support the nominee no matter who it is in the party. You saw people on this debate stage tonight when people have said you have to pledge that you will support the party's nominee, who haven't done that and who refuse to do that. But hey, they're still allowed on the debate stage, aren't they? But also he has said that he believes, Governor DeSantis believes, that that if Trump were a convicted felon, that he wouldn't be able to win in the general election. And that's a very fair point to make. People want to know that their leader is someone that they can look up to, who they can relate to. And if that happens, again, that would put self before service. And this is a crucial time in this country where we need somebody who's geopolitically intelligent, who has served this nation, who has put service before self. There's only one. That's Ron DeSantis.
Of course, the tough part of that, and I'll let you go after this, I promise. The tough part about that is Governor DeSantis has acknowledged that the charges against President Trump are political. So if he's convicted as a felon on trumped-up political charges, why should that disqualify him from the election?
Nobody's talking about disqualification, but what they are talking about is the fact that
you rolled over by the Ramaswamy wave. It's very dangerous in the spin room.
Not safe. But I was spraining an ankle in here. He is.
Well, but you know what? I know he's not talking about disqualified, but he says a felon can't get elected. Well, if he's unjustly convicted.
But that's more than just Donald Trump. There has been a weaponization of the federal government against Republicans and conservatives going well beyond Donald Trump. We all remember Lois Lerner. We all remember the IRS targeting conservatives. We remember the DOJ calling parents terrorists for standing up in defense. This is bigger than Donald Trump. He wants to say it's about him. No, this is the weaponization of the federal government. And when people have tried to weaponize government against the people, who is the one person that has a record of firing rogue prosecutors? That is Governor Ron DeSantis. If you try to be bigger than the law and bigger than the people you serve, he has a record of saying, it's enough, you're out of here. That's what he would do as president. If we want to upend the system and drain the swamp, Trump had his chance and he failed at it. Ron DeSantis has actually done it here as governor of Florida.
Never back down. I mean, there's a reason why they call it that. Thanks. Great stuff.
Thank you so much.
Keep spinning. Keep spinning.
Do my best.
All right. There you go. Fiery DeSantis stuff there. Vivek is back where he started in the doorway. He's brought the media with him. Definitely Vivek Ramaswamy is sort of the media magnet here. There he goes. There he goes. He did get his hair cut. Did you notice his hair wasn't quite as tall as it was? Remember, wasn't it super tall at the last one? But he was definitely the sort of media darling in the room here. We want to get Rana. Oh, Chairwoman McDaniel, how are you?
Hey,
Larry O'Connor, we're on Town Hall streaming real fast. How are you? So that was rough to hear from Vivek, wasn't it?
Listen, I'm going to focus on Joe Biden. I've said this to you on your show, though, before. This Republican on Republican vitriol and infighting is not good for our party. I'm not running for president. I'm here trying to win for our party. He just lost a vote. He lost my son's vote. I'll tell you that much. But I will say this. The voters don't want to see this. They want to see us talk about the border. They want to see us talk about Israel. They want to see us talk about how we can win. And when you do that, you're not talking about Joe Biden and the Democrats.
What's your analysis of the results in Virginia, though? You know, we on our radio station, we were.
The RNC's not a state committee. We're a federal committee, right? Your candidates can take unlimited state dollars and your governor can take unlimited state dollars. And he actually said, we don't need you guys here. So I will say this about Virginia. Your governor did a great job. He got in, he's pushing the bank the vote. But if you were there watching the ads like I was, every Democrat ad was about abortion. Every Republican ad was about crime. And we're cross-talking. And if Republicans can't get up and say they are lying to you about my position on abortion on TV, then the lie becomes the truth. And that's what I will say. And I did not see that in Virginia.
But go ahead. No, that's fine.
I just think you don't let people lie about you and let it go unanswered. Let it go unanswered. If somebody's spending $30 million against you and they're lying about you and say you won't give life-saving care for miscarriages or ectopic pregnancy, you better get on TV and tell them that the voters that that's a lie, or they think that's the truth. And our candidates have got to do this. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. You can go and say, this is where I stand. The Democrats are lying. And now let's talk about crime, schools, border, fentanyl, and national security.
I just want to clarify one quick thing, though. The RNC had no involvement in these elections in Virginia per Governor Youngkin's request.
We were told in the summer they didn't need us, that they had all the money and they were good. So that was the conversation.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
We'll be following up on that to find out what's that all about. That's the first time I've heard that. Oh, thanks. All right, things are winding down in the spin room here. Do we want to swing back over to the Salem hub? Okay, let's do that. Who's there? Oh, Tim Scott is with Gallagher. Okay, maybe we can get Senator Scott then. Have you already gotten Senator Scott?
He's next.
Oh, all right. And then we'll just grab your scraps afterwards. It's okay. So wait, so we've been following Virginia politics. We're still live, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Some of us are actual Virginians. Others are not.
I work in Virginia. I live in Maryland. I work in DC. And all right, let's not make this about me. Yeah. Ronna McDaniel just said that the RNC had no involvement in the Virginia elections per Governor Youngkin's request. Have we heard that before?
I've not heard that. News you can use, maybe. News you can trust but verify.
Yeah. She just said we've got all the money we need. We don't need any support.
Well,
good for them.
I mean, I saw that. No. All right. That's a whole other topic. All right. Katie Pavlich is going to go get Senator Scott. Yeah, I think things are starting to thin out here. We got spinners that are just sort of standing still and not spinning, you know. Frank Luntz. Just let everyone see Frank Luntz. We're not going to talk to him. I just want everyone to see him. That's what that is. All right, I think we're winding down. Let's finish up, but we'll do it in front of this great backdrop. Thanks for getting dizzy with us and walking around the spin room with us. It was pretty fun, actually. Hope you enjoyed that. It was great to be a part of this debate on behalf of our parent company at Town Hall, the mighty Salem Media Group. We appreciate you liking, watching, sharing, subscribing, whatever it is you do here. We'll be back for the next show Friday, because we got to take Thursday off, man. It was a long day. But thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next. I'm Larry.